So we're down here on Wailoaloa Beach right now. I don't know if you can even see. Obviously, well, you can see at least the water breaking and whatnot. Boats out there. Oh, geez, that only got me. It's going to be pretty dark. So today's video, I wanted to speak about places that you should be able to go out in Fiji and enjoy. Not everywhere is as safe as the other ones, and you should absolutely be able to come here and enjoy a night out with your friends. This video here is going to be explaining my view and my experience. I've been here, you know, basically all my young life. I've had all my big nights out in this country, and specifically in Nadi right here. And right now we're down here at Wailoaloa Beach, which is one area of the partying, right? And I say one area because this is like the backpacker section of Nadi, where you've got sailors down there, you've got a couple of places at the back as well. Smugglers, which is very, very popular. Then also got the Ramada just there, which is pretty fancy. You know, you're never gonna find any real problems there. A new one, Wyndham Garden, that looks like it's closed, but I don't know if that's even, I don't know, to be completely honest with you. I really don't. It looked like they're trying to like still build it inside, and they've been building it for a while, to be completely honest with you. But like there's some lights on and there's people drinking down below, but I don't know if it's open, so I can't really speak on behalf of that one. And then you have Bamboo right down the end, which is one of the two, I guess there's three big ones here if you want like to have a good party kind of style. And then there's Ramada realistically, which is more so to have a nice drink with your family. There's some nice food up top. It's a nice place to stay. It is a nice place to stay. Geez, I just got to jump over this water here. So in regards to my recommendations down here, again, backpackers area, but it is good fun. You can find the right kind of style for you. There's different kinds of partying here. I would suggest if you want, again, places close at 1 AM here, right? So you kind of need a house party, but also only go to house parties if you trust the people and you know them. Realistically, that's obvious stuff. You should know that. I shouldn't have to tell you that. But if you're looking for kind of the best vibes, I would say, you'd be looking towards Bamboo down the end, which I'll show you in a second. Be looking towards Sailors. And Smugglers is still okay, man. You know, Smugglers is still fine. I used to do fire dancing there with the group Maori. The beach club down the end, there is actually room to stay in there, but it is quite loud, right? But it's not a bad area, you know. I would say, like, of course, you've always got to keep in mind your situational awareness and kind of understand that everyone's drinking and having fun, and you're not necessarily in really a containment, as I was speaking about on the other video. But the beach club is nice. The lockout laws and the close down laws are much earlier nowadays. 1 AM for me. I find that ridiculous, but there is a reason for it here. There is a reason for it. It kind of actually happened since COVID, and they just kept it. It was rules and regulations around that, and then they just decided to keep the lockdown and whatnot in regards to a 1 AM. This down here at Wailoaloa Beach, it's all pretty much the tourism crowd. So ultimately, to wrap up Wailoaloa Beach, you'll have a good time down here, good place to pre-drink, good place to chill out, some good live music, and it's pretty much where a lot of the solo travelers and the younger crowd are going to be staying. So you'll meet a lot of like-minded people down here, and because there's a lot of security in regards to like the hotels and whatnot, it's very, it's a lot better to come down here. But again, no matter where I show you today, no matter where I put on this video, you can pretty much have a good time anywhere, right? But there definitely are better places to go. We are leaving Wailoaloa Beach now, which there's a True Mart, which is kind of like taking to Fiji, by the way. But there's some good restaurants and whatnot. You're not gonna have trouble down there unless you're really looking for something. Don't go wandering off. Like there's a place down here, it's along the beachfront, right? And in the nighttime, police do heavily monitor this area, right? Because back in the day, when we would go out drinking, we would end the night, this is like 5 AM when the clubs would open much later, and they would stay open all night. We'd finish drinking and then grab a carton and then head down to this beach here and then drink along the beach. You can't actually do that anymore. But a lot of people do still try to kind of drink in the complete darkness of the Wailoaloa beachfront down further past where all the backpacker places are. I will really emphasize what I'm about to say. Do not go walk off into the dark down there. Don't do it. Do not go walk off into the dark down there if you do not know this area. Don't go walking around the streets late at night, if you are drunk, do not just go off thinking that it's completely fine, because that can get quite dodgy. There is a lot of people that go down there, and there has been a lot of incidents throughout time that has been around there. And it's completely pitch darkness. So there's really no point, no reason that you should be down there in the first place, right? There really isn't a reason, unless you've gone with some friends that you've made. But also, like I said before, this isn't rocket science. Be very careful about who you trust, and be very careful about who you go off with. But also, don't think on the negative side. Also, don't just completely shut down to knowing anybody and becoming friends with anybody. There's some lovely people here. There are some great people in this country, and I can tell you right now, there's not a majority of people, a majority of people are looking to show you a great time. The majority. But there is a minority. There are bad people. There just simply are, and that's what life is like anywhere in the world, right? So do not go walking off into the complete pitch darkness down there at Wailoaloa, into like that little park area. Do not just go completely wandering off. Stay within the areas. You'll have a fantastic time. You'll have an unreal time. It's great fun. Party, good cheap drinks. It's not expensive. You're just gonna have fun, right? You're just gonna have a good time. So that's what I'll really emphasize in regards to that. What are you doing, bro? Alright, as you can see, we are in Nadi town, so just down here. Ooh, is it going to zoom all the way in? It might blur up soon. No? Oh, there you go. Just down there, you can see the temple, right? So this is Temple End area. In Nadi town, as you can see, it's quiet right now. Like, there's a lot of cars and whatnot, but there's not a great deal of people walking around. Now, there is a place down there as well. So these places in Nadi town, I absolutely would not recommend that you go into, unless you are with an incredibly trusted local who has been there before. Even then, I would still be a little bit sketchy of it, to be completely honest with you. But the places in Nadi town are not designed for tourists. They are designed for the locals. They are with their friends, they are with their families. I'm not saying that a situation will occur. I'm not saying that someone will try to fight you. I'm not saying that someone will try to rob you. But I will say that it's a lot more likely if you're going into one of these bars where you have to walk upstairs into like a dark room that has got lights and stuff, and they look fun and whatnot, but realistically, and I'm going to show you in a second what I'm talking about, but realistically, stay away from this area. You know, there is much better places for you to party in Nadi. Much better. You don't come downtown. There's no need to. I'm not even really getting out of this car right now with the camera, just because I don't want to be just walking around with my camera, right? Because I get a lot of people all the time saying, oh, put the camera away, you know, be careful. And it's like, I don't think that anything's going to happen, but also I don't want to be a part of the 1%. Do you know what I'm saying? And this goes for anybody. This goes for literally anybody. You know, 99% of the time, you're probably going to be fine. You just don't want to be a part of that 1% of the time when something may happen. And although this is Fiji, it's such a beautiful place with great people, not everywhere is just as safe as another place. So Nadi town, regardless of where you are inside the town, is a no-go zone in regards to going up into these bars, going up into these clubs, because it's just not where you should be. Alright, so places like this, realistically, right, they're on top inside, and it's completely dark, really. And you have to go up a bunch of stairs just over, you have to go up a bunch of stairs just over here. Beers are really cheap. The drinks are really cheap. Again though, not designed for tourists. So, no matter kind of where it is in town, there's no need for you to be out here. I've never been here before, but again, based off of what I'm saying, based off of what I'm talking about, I probably would recommend against it, man. It does sound like a good time. People are having fun in there, absolutely. Not for you. Not for you. So to wrap this one up, Nadi town, no, you don't need to be here after dark. I'm about to take you into a place that is more so on the medium scale, but this is the poppin' scale. Like, this is where everything pops off. This is where the party district is that I'm about to show you. It's the most fun place for sure, but it's also the most populated, which means, you know, once everything's said and done, I guess you got a higher chance of something happening there. Again, it's drinking. You should be aware of what world you're walking into. Drinking and drugs and all that kind of shit involved, right? Like, you should be extremely aware of what you're getting yourself into. But if you're gonna do all that, you may as well go to the best place. You may as well go to the better areas, so that with all that drinking and all the bullshit, more than likely he's gonna have a great time, rather than having to worry about, you know, getting beaten up or getting robbed or getting all this kind of bullshit, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, make your own judgment, man. But this is my experience based off of my time in Nadi. This is the main area. This is a place called Martintar, which is pretty much where everyone comes. Now, this is like the main area for your nights out, and is definitely not too bad for the most part, as long as you go to the right kind of club. And just be aware that when the lockout finishes and all the clubs close and whatnot, everyone descends into the area, and it can get quite dodgy then. But at the end of the day, you're just probably going to get in the cab and head home. Don't stay around, don't linger around. But let's go around and have a look at a couple of the clubs and talk about kind of which my suggestions would be. The first one here in Martintar is a place called White House. Now, it's just across over there, and there is a big amount of steps that you have to walk up to actually get inside. White House, I wouldn't necessarily say should be your first priority. It wouldn't be where you would go, I would say, if I was to suggest you a place here in Martintar. You've just got to go up a bunch of stairs, so just be careful when you're coming down. Like, it is quite dangerous when you're coming down just because of your alcohol intake, right? And Fiji, when you drink to get drunk. You don't drink for a laugh, you drink to get drunk here, right? And that's how the locals do. Security can be a bit full on at times, but it's a well-lit area. The cinemas are just down there, even though they'll obviously be closed. This is a very popular supermarket area, Jet Point, here in Martintar. And look, I don't think it's one of the worst. I don't think it's the worst. But again, I wouldn't say it's a priority. Ice bar up there, a lot more of like an Indian crowd, Fijian Indian crowd. Downstairs, I've had a few situations at the front of it. I would not suggest that it would be... Hey, buzz. Said buzz. I wouldn't suggest that it would be the most fantastic. I wouldn't say that it's the most unbelievable. But with that being said, I've had plenty of good times there, plenty of good nights there. Just be aware downstairs can get a bit loosey-goosey at times. Just be aware. But plenty of taxis around. The taxi stand's just over there where White House is. So plenty of taxis around, well lit. You probably won't have too many problems there. Just be careful when coming down. I'm not even going to show you the street, but I just walked past it. That's probably one place that you probably should be careful of. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's crazy dangerous, just wouldn't walk down the street based on the fact that it's very much a prostitution corner. There's a lot of people, and I'm not going to judge, you know. Other people do what they need to do. I don't believe in it. There's a street. There's some very funny stories because Fiji is still quite a conservative country, right? A lot of people will abuse that corner. People trying to make a buck, and if that's what they need to do, that's what they need to do. Again, I don't necessarily agree with it, but who am I to judge? I'm not perfect. But with that being said, it's the street right next to Macua. You've got Ed's Bar, really chill place, really nice. I wouldn't say that there's any real problems in regards to Ed Bar. And Ed's Bar actually used to be down further. So where Hive is now, that's where Ed Bar used to be. That used to be the place, man. That used to be the place. You never really find any trouble there. It was just fun, good times, good vibes. A lot of tourists there. That's pretty much where the tourists would go, would be the old Ed's Bar. Now they've moved that down there and it's a new bar up here called Hive. But I wouldn't say that that's a bad place at all. You'll enjoy your time, a lot quieter, a lot more secluded. Now this is like a staple of the night out here in Nadi, especially in Martintar. Lali's fried chicken is just over there. Be warned, the food is good. Chicken is good, chips, all that, lovely. But it's where everyone goes. I've seen too many fights here. I've seen a ridiculous amount of fights that happen here because again, everyone descends in the same place, the same area. And I've seen way too many fights in this area here where the Lali's fried chicken is. So be very careful. But with that being said, it's a tradition when you're in Martintar to come down and get something to eat there. I don't even know what the name of this is anymore. It says Nightclub and Bar, One Restaurant. Now this place has changed its name more than you can even think about. Down here is the main area. You've got Hive Bar, you've got Loafers, you've got Bar 1. This is kind of the main area. There's another club just up here. Now, this is the one where you're gonna have the best night of your life. If you go in with the right intentions and you go in with the right kind of attitude that you're just gonna have a good time and have fun, you're gonna have a great book. You're gonna have a great time. A couple of healthy little tips though. One, if you're being asked into a group, kind of make your own decision based off of your awareness. Make yourself aware that you're probably getting brought in so that you can pay for the drinks. Another jet bar here. I'm not even going to tell you that you probably shouldn't. I'm not even going to tell you. Don't cross the road to go back down. Don't walk down these back streets. You have no need to. People live down there. Why are you down there? It's dark. It's not as well lit as it is here. That place over there, yeah, a bit better. You got plenty of options down here. Well lit, good party, loud, popular, a lot of people around. Now, when we get past these places, Hive Bar is the old Ed's bar that I was telling you about. Hive Bar, very popular. A lot of tourists go there. Pretty much the main tourists hang out. That's for sure, the main tourists hang out. I didn't want to be that guy and just stand up front of the club and whatnot. Now, in regards to the places that we just walked past, Bar 1, Loafers, and Hive. Hive is completely fine. I've never had a problem really at Hive. I think maybe one in the 12 years that I've been going out at Hive's bar / Ed's bar. There's really no problem with Hive. There just really isn't. You know, if you get into a situation, you're part of the 1%, that's the risk that you take when you go out clubbing. In regards to Loafers, it's kind of just next to Hive. It used to be a carver bar. I don't really go in there. I've never really gone in there. But it's still kind of just the same as Hive, right? You're right there. So I wouldn't expect there to be any issues in regards to Loafers that is any separate to Hive. Then, when you're talking about Bar 1, that's a different story. A lot of locals go there. It's a fun time. The vibes are awesome. It is a great time. I've had so many good nights there. At the end of the day, 99% of the time, you're gonna be sweet, you're gonna be fine. Don't go to Nadi Town. A couple places here, sure. Bar 1 is a place that is really fun. It's really congested, really small. Up the stairs, it is a great time. But overall, be very cautious about Bar 1 because it is a really interesting mix where I don't feel like a great deal of tourists go, but it is the place that I enjoy the most, and this video is my experience. Bar 1 doesn't have a great reputation for tourists. There is actually 2 levels to it, but overall, I would say, yeah, sure, Bar 1 is fine. Bar 1 is okay to go to. But the main thing that you need to know about Martintar is that everyone descends into the exact same area from all the different clubs. Maybe you'd say White House and Ice Bar are separated down there. And then in the middle, you've got that little prostitution road. And then you've got the area down here with all these clubs, with Bar 1, with Hive, with Loafers, with the other places that are a little bit further down. Also the one on top that I was showing you with all of the flashing lights and whatnot. All these places, they congregate in the same area. So everyone's drunk, everyone's buddy on heat. That's a fact. I don't care what people say. Everyone's on heat. When there's alcohol and when there's drugs involved, there's gonna be bad situations. So my advice is go out. Don't let bullshit impact you from going out. Take the advice from this video and go out to the places here and have a good time. But be wary of people bringing you into their group. When you come out, be aware of your surroundings. It's not Alice in Wonderland here. When you go down, it'll be completely packed out. Get in a taxi and get out of there. Right? If you go home with anybody, be very trusting of that person. You need to know who the person is that you're going to a house party or you're going back with. You need to be aware of who that person is. Don't go off into any alleyways. Don't go down that prostitution road. You know, people do live around here. This is not just a nightlife scene. There are houses all the way down the streets that are around where these clubs are. People do live here. There is a lot of dark places. Don't follow just anybody. But this is all basic stuff that you should be aware about when you're traveling, let alone your own country. So that's this video here today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm gonna go home. 99% of the time, you're gonna be sweet. 99% of the time, you're gonna be fine, but don't be a part of the 1%. And the 1% will happen if you're unaware of your surroundings. So much love from me. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. shows it to more people so that they can see this video and hopefully enjoy our content. Obviously, subscribe if you're new around here. We post every 2 days. And much love for Fiji. I'll see you in a couple of days' time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See you. I don't even know if this place like exists anymore, and I don't think you can actually see the writing of it, so I'm going to assume that it's not like a thing anymore. There's a place called After Dark here in Namaka. My quick little brief advice: after dark, don't got it. Okay? After Dark nightclub here in Namaka. After dark.